Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Drawing Science. Today we're going to learn about drawing sea turtles and learn a little bit about them on the way. So sea turtles, there's a lot of ways you can draw them. One of the most basic ways is to kind of draw a top-down view. I'm just going to do that real quick. I'm not really going to go over this step by step because this one's pretty easy, but then we'll do a step by step, sort of a side view, sort of a fun cartoony one. So if I'm going to draw a sea turtle top-down, we'll just kind of do a little shield. There's our head, our flippers, other flippers, back flippers. That's kind of it. You've got your basic sea turtle. If you want, you can make little marks on the shell to make it look more realistic. Just making these little shapes here. And, sea turtles can have pretty complex designs here. And you can make them complex if you want to. You can keep them simple. But this is basically what we're looking at. Now, what I actually want to do, though, is a little bit simpler drawing. I know that was pretty simple, but we're going to try a little bit different style. So we're going to start out with step one. We're going to draw an oval. And you can kind of make the back end a little bit more of an egg shape. And this is the shell of the turtle. Step two, we're going to add a flipper. Now, the way you can add a flipper to the top, we're kind of doing a sort of an angled down look at the sea turtle. But I'm going to draw basically a big triangle that comes in like this, kind of curvy triangle a little bit. Not a super like sharp triangle, but you get the picture. Now that's our flipper that's kind of in the background. Our one in the foreground is going to be a little bit fancier. We're going to have a line that comes out like so, and then we'll kind of get that triangle shape in there. This isn't perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect. They can be one could be a little longer than the other one. It's not going to look that bad in the overall scheme of things. Now these are the flippers that sea turtles use for locomotion. So there are roughly 7 species of sea turtle, depending on who you ask, and they all use these front flippers for propulsion. If you look at a freshwater turtle, they're going to use their back flippers, and that's what we're going to draw next. On our sea turtle, they're going to just be these little back flippers. I'm making a very simple shape, almost like a little rectangle type shape here, and these are our back flippers. Now, if you want to get a little fancier, you can make them a little more like a foot, like so. And yeah, you can do that if you'd like. You can also draw a little tail if you want. Sometimes you can see a sea turtle's tail. A lot of times you can't. So that's kind of an optional decision that you have to make. Now this is a generic sea turtle. Like I said, there are about 7 species, and they all look similar, but there are some subtle differences, and the one that's probably the most unique looking is the leatherback sea turtle. And that's mostly going to be in the shell, and then if you color it, you're going to get different colors and markings and that sort of thing. Of course, our turtle's missing a head, and one of the things that makes sea turtles different than a lot of other turtles is they can't really pull their heads in their shell. They can move their heads, but they can't pull them inside their shell, especially not as much as, say, your red-eared sliders or Florida red-bellied turtles or box turtles, that sort of thing. To draw the head on our turtle, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a line out like this, okay? I kind of curved it a little bit at the end there, but I'm going to actually bring this down. Okay, a little I don't know what I want to call it, sideways smiley face. There we go. It's a sideways smiley face. And then this is going to be part of the beak. So turtles don't have teeth. They have a beak. It's made of keratin, like fingernails. And I'm just going to hook this beak up like this, kind of another curve. And if I was drawing a realistic sea turtle, I might give it this kind of frowny look. But this is a cartoon sea turtle, so he's going to have a little smile right there like that. Look at that. I give him a little dimple and everything. And then the lower jaw is just going to be a little curvy line that comes off underneath. And then watch this. I'm going to pull up a little bit and then back to the shell. And now we're looking at kind of a 3/4 view. This turtle's got a large head, by the way. And now for the eye. The eye is very important. I'm going to do a cartoony eye. That means I'm going to do a circle. And I'm going to make it a little low because we are sort of looking down at the head here. Just a little circle. Now here's where you can get fancy if you want to and make it kind of a cute turtle. I want to give it a little eyelid just like that, kind of a, you know, hey dude, surfer turtle. I don't know. That's what we all learned from Finding Nemo, right? And then, of course, our turtle needs something in his eye, a little iris or pupil. So I'm just going to do a little circle here. And I'm going to do another little circle inside there. Now, that other little circle is actually going to be the highlight. And I'm just going to color in around that like so. So there's our turtle eye. Pretty simple. And then our turtle's going to have a nostril because they are air breathers. Turtles are reptiles, and they have to go to the surface to breathe air. They can't breathe underwater. So there's kind of like a little, sort of like a backwards comma or apostrophe. Now we get to add some details to our turtle. So there's a lot of choices here. You can make this kind of stylized and designed, or you can make it more realistic. I'm going to kind of go in between. I'm going to give our turtle a little pronounced beak, so I'm going to come down like this, just like that. So he's got a little beak there. You can even do it on the bottom if you want, a little bit like that. Give him a little turtle beak look. And then he's going to have some spots. So this turtle's going to have a little spot up here, maybe another one right here. And when you're doing spots on these sea turtles, sometimes you want to make them a little more square than just round. He's also going to have some markings on his big flippers here. And what I like to do are these half circles, just going on the outside edge of his flippers. They're going to get a little bit smaller as you get towards the top of the edge of the flipper. Do the same thing up here on the flipper that's in the background. Just like so. Bunch of little happy faces. There. Now if you want, you can give him a little marking on his foot too. Or you can leave him blank. That's up to you, you know. Same thing with his tail. Leave his tail blank. Now the shell can be a tricky part. Oh, before I get to that, let me add a few more spots. I'm just going to add a few more of these sort of random shapes. Here's the cool thing about this. They don't have to be perfect. Okay, you can space them out a little bit. These are sort of an abstract representation of the markings on the turtle's fins. If you look at some photographs, and I recommend you do that when you draw any of these animals. Look at some photographs, look at some reference photos so you get an idea of what the real animals look like, and that's going to help you envision your cartoon animals. They don't have to be perfect though. This is a cartoon, so you can make it sort of just loosely look like them, but having that idea of what the animal looks like will help you to make a more convincing cartoon. Now, the back of the shell can be pretty intricate to draw, and it can be fun to draw, but I'm going to do a simpler version for you guys, and that's going to mean that I'm going to make some ovals on here, and I'm going to start with an oval right here. And you notice this oval, it's closer to this edge than it is to this edge. Okay, that's because we're looking sort of down on this turtle. I'm going to make another oval. It's going to touch this first oval, and it's going to be a little bit bigger, not a lot bigger, just a little bit bigger. I'm going to do a third oval. This one's going to be a little bigger still, just like so. And then now we're going to start to get smaller again. This is going to be kind of like that second oval in size-ish. Doesn't have to be exactly. Mine's a little smaller than that one. And then I'm going to do one more. Now, another thing about sea turtles is depending on what species you're looking at, they will sometimes have different numbers of these sort of markings on the back of their shell, these big scutes, big scales. And if it's a leatherback, they won't have any. If it's a leatherback, they'll actually have these big lines like that on their leathery shell. See if oops, just messed up my all my circles. So I'm going to draw them again. It's 1 oval, 2 oval, 3 oval, 4 oval, and 5 oval. See how it's kind of sloppy? It's okay. It's a turtle shell. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Now there are more scales on here than just this. We're not done yet. And another choice to make, depending on what you want to make your turtle look like. Now you could do another line right down here. It just kind of follows the line of the shell, but you don't want it to go all the way because we're looking down, so you're not going to see the back of that line. And then I'm going to make these scales come down. I'm just going to draw a line from the middle of these ovals down like this. And you can even give them a little bit of a curve if you want. In the back, it's going to be one that goes this way. And if I had space up here, it would go towards the front. Do the same thing on the top. Little lines. And there we go. Now, I'm going to also add some little lines here. And look how I'm giving these a little bit of a curve here. This is going to add to the three-dimensional look, or imply that it's a little bit more three-dimensional for your turtle. And there you go. You've got a sea turtle right here. Pretty simple. Have fun. Post some of your drawings. If you make drawings, post them on this YouTube channel down below so I can check them out. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot for watching.